Hi there. Today we're going to talk about the Wacker-Neuson HI400 indirect heater. Indirect meaning that it is not expelling any of the combustible gases from the combustion process into the space that you're heating. It exhausts the combustible gases out the flue here. Ambient air or cold air goes in the back. It's heated through a heat exchanger in here, and hot, clean air is now going into the space that you're heating. This is a gaseous fuel version, gaseous fuel meaning propane or natural gas. There is a diesel version as well. I'll cover both, but I'll be using this as an example. The HI400 heater, indirect 400,000 BTUs of heat. This has roughly 3,000 CFM of pressure coming out from the fan, cubic feet per minute of volume. And we'll start at this end. This is the gas fuel inlet here. Very simply, this is your shutoff valve. Anytime you have a valve like this that's perpendicular to the lay of the line, it's shut off. When it's in line with the line, it's on. This is a pressure regulator, this is a solenoid, and this is your orifice valve. I want to talk about this because this orifice valve, when you want to switch fuels between natural gas and propane, just look on this decal here, flip it up, now the orifice is for propane. Flip it back down, the orifice is sized for natural gas. So it's very, very easy to switch fuels on site. On the diesel version, you'll have a fuel filter, a water separator on this side, and it also has a small heater to preheat the diesel fuel. And inside here, there'll be a secondary heater heating the diesel fuel just before it goes into the burner. The reason I'm mentioning this is because in a cold weather environment, if this unit is sitting outside and it's not plugged in, say it's minus 30 degrees Celsius, minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit, it's still cold. This unit won't be able to actually start its sequence without those two heaters running on the diesel unit. When this unit's plugged in to shore power, those two heaters are running. You'll see this as soon as you plug this unit in to any kind of shore power, and I'm talking about 110 volt, 15 amp, the same kind of power that we use in our houses. This little light will come on. It's going to send power to those diesel heaters, but it takes about 15 to 20 minutes for them to adequately heat up the diesel. So when you have a customer that just plugs something in that's been sitting out all night in the cold, and then they try to start it right away, on a diesel unit, it's not going to work very efficiently and probably won't even fire. So I would encourage you to talk to your customer and say, go have a coffee, go have a cigarette after you've plugged it in, come back 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, then try to fire it up. There's not going to be a problem. When we talk about power, for supplying power to these units, they're designed to be really efficient with power. I believe the figure is around 8+ amps, and that's it. That's all they draw when they're fully running. But this cord is probably the worst example. It's about 100 feet long, and I believe it's 16 gauge. This is what not to use to plug these in. We recommend a 12 gauge cord if you're going 50 feet or less, and a 10 gauge cord, much thicker, if you're going over 100 feet. Really important to get good clean power to these heaters on site so that they don't give your customers any trouble. When we go over to the panel here, I'll just take you through this very quickly. As I said, this little light will come on as soon as you have adequate power to this unit. This receptacle is for an external thermostat. We sell these separately. They run about a 50-foot cord. You can take this, plug it in, and now you can put the thermostat inside the space that you're heating, and it'll automatically sense the space temperature that you're heating and adequately cycle this on and off, keeping it more efficient. If you want to run that remote thermostat, this three-way switch is put into the down position to start. That's your off position. And if you want to start it without the thermostat, simply put it up. When you put it up, going to take a while to cycle through its internal checks. It's going to make sure that it has an adequate fuel supply, that it's not in any kind of dangerous situation. And then once all those check marks are made, it will fire. What's going to happen though on this one, because we don't have any fuel hooked up, is it's going to go into a fault mode.